Federal investigators and local police in Austin, Texas are looking into whether race is a motive in 3 bombings they say are likely connected. 2 packages left on doorsteps blew up yesterday. One killed a teenager. It was less than 2 weeks ago that a man was killed by another package explosion. CBS's Hinadoba reports.
FBI agents are going door to door in this East Austin community, questioning neighbors still rattled after learning a 17-year-old was killed and an elderly woman critically hurt after packages left on their doorsteps exploded.
We have a trauma activation, 65-year-old female, penetrating trauma, head and torso.
The first bomb went off Monday morning after the package was brought inside and the teen tried to open it. 5 hours later, just a few miles away, another explosion, wounding a 75-year-old woman.
Is it going to happen again? Where, when, why? Who's doing this? Well, we don't know.
Very scary situation out here.
This was the 3rd package bombing in 10 days. The first happened earlier this month, killing 39-year-old Anthony Stefan House. None of the packages were delivered by a mail service, and the devices were powerful enough to cause extensive damage, showing a certain level of sophistication.
We do not know yet whether the victims are the intended targets on these cases.
All 3 bombings happened on Austin's east side, a predominantly minority and historically African-American part of town.
Well, we know that the victims of these 3 incidents, 2 were African American and 1 was Hispanic. So again, we're not going to rule out the possibility that that may be a motive.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is now offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Hinadoba, CBS News.
In other news that's new this morning, the president flies to California to view prototypes for a possible border wall. The development comes just a day after Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee released a report saying they found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Senate committee investigating Russia is expected to release its report in the coming weeks. And voters in Pennsylvania's 18th district head to the polls today in a special congressional election. Republican Rick Saccone is locked in a tight race with Democrat Connor Lamb to fill the open House seat. President Trump won the district by 20 points in 2016. Here in Montana, Monday was the last day candidates could file to run for office this year. The final day of candidate filing had a few surprises and plenty of people paying their fees before the 5 p.m. deadline. 66 candidates filed for state offices on Monday, and a new party qualified for the ballot, the Montana Green Party. 6 Green Party candidates filed Monday, including 2 for the U.S. Senate and 1 for the U.S. House. 56 people filed to run for state houses and Senate seats. A 6th Democrat, Bozeman attorney John Meyer, also joined the race for the Democratic nomination to challenge Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte next fall. Retiring Billings School Superintendent Terry Bauk is among those making a bid for the state legislature. Bauk is looking to fill the vacated seat of Democrat Kelly McCarthy in House District 49. Bauk, who filed as a Democrat, said he'll speak further with us on entering the race later today. Over the weekend, McCarthy announced he will be moving away from Billings for his wife's job opportunity in Australia. And mental health professional Emma Kerr Carpenter also filed for McCarthy's seat. In announcing her bid, Carpenter said the decision made during the last session hurt many of the clients she works with, and she wants to make sure it does not happen again. From the courthouse, the 3 people arrested last week for interfering with buffalo slaughter at the Stevens Creek holding facility pleaded guilty on Monday. Cody Kyson, Thomas Brown, and Hannah Ponder have spent the last 6 days in jail for misdemeanor charges of interference with agency functions and closure violations. As part of their plea agreement, the 3 will be placed on 5 years unsupervised probation. The 3 are also prohibited from entering Yellowstone Park for 5 years. They were fined $1,000 each in order to do community service. The 3 are part of a buffalo advocate group called the Wild Buffalo Defense. After a 3-year court battle, a Lockwood polygamist family is denied the right to marriage. Nathan and Vicki Collier sought to legalize their plural marriage to Christine Parkinson Collier after gay marriage became legal in 2015. The decision by the judge said the Colliers failed to provide any evidence Christine is suffering a constitutionally recognized injury to that relationship. The court found the state has not interfered in the Colliers' way of life, and the Colliers have not violated any laws. Attorney General Tim Fox stated in a press release, polygamous marriages are illegal across the country, and Montana is no exception. This ruling upholds the institution of marriage as a legal union between two people. Turning now to state news, Montana lawmakers are increasingly optimistic about the state's budget picture as new updated revenue numbers come in. Monday at the Capitol, the Legislative Finance Committee got an update on state revenues. Analysts say income tax and property tax collections are up significantly higher than this time last year, but they're still not sure how much of that increase is simply due to people filing earlier. Committee Chair Nancy Ballant said there has been a series of reports showing improved financial data.
We're feeling a lot better as each month goes by that we're going to be much, much closer to the revenue estimate that we left town with in May of 17 versus what was used for the special session call.
Last year, the legislature approved millions of dollars in cuts to state agency budgets to address a projected shortfall. If state revenue comes in at least $20 million higher than expected by July, some of those funds could be used to mitigate the effects of those cuts. Ballant says she expects that benchmark will be reached. Now in health news, a national increase in syphilis cases continues to impact Montana, and public health officials are concerned. So far in 2018, 9 new syphilis cases were reported in Montana, continuing the 2017 outbreak when 49 cases were reported. While cases in past years occurred primarily among men who have sex with men, 4 out of 9 of the 2018 cases are women. The increase of cases among women is a concern because the infection can be easily passed to an unborn child, resulting in serious complications or death of the baby. 2/3 of this year's cases come from Yellowstone County, with others identified in Cascade, Gallatin, and Lewis and Clark counties.